good. Let's go. Get my pen on set. I don't have much notes today. And did you write down? Oh, golf. Yeah, Trevisan. All right. And my men's draw. I think you got it.
This is definitely yours,
Yeah,
and so is this one.
All right, ready to roll?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Wednesday, September the 30th, 2020. And we're going to get right into the latest round 2 news and some of the discussion going around the tennis world. By the way, as we get started, I wanted to give everyone a quick update for the fantasy team competitions, for shirts, prizes, cash, whatever, and as well the tennis racket giveaway. I'll make this brief. I'm only going to list the top 6 competitors at this point for the fantasy team competition, so I'm going to start it. First place with 22 points is Viracelis. Viracelis with 22 points. In second place is Team Groves with 21 points. 2 people tied for third place is Kenneth Chow and Peter Dijkstra, both with 20 points. And 2 people are tied for fourth place with 19 points, and that is Carla and Curling Tennis. If I didn't call your name, it doesn't mean you're out of it. But again, these.
Matt Kane said, "Did I win?" No.
I have your score here, but we'll keep crunching the numbers. But these 6 people tied 1 through 4 are by a long shot ahead of everyone else. Meaning some of them only have 2 or 3 players out entirely. Most everyone else has 6, 7, 8 players left, or lost rather. And then the players that you do have left, they have most of them. But we'll continue to keep score. I've only pulled 2 names out entirely. One was this guy 1000 who lost 9 players on day 1. I'm still hanging on to Gene Swart even though he lost 9 players already as well. And my name, I have 16 points, but again, I'm a realist in that it's going to be very hard to catch any of these 6 given that they still have a lot of players left.
Right.
All right, only one person has been dismissed from the tennis racket giveaway. Again, that's for Carla's Demo Dunlop Strixon 2.0 Revo with a 4 1/4 grip that I freshly strung with Hexagon X from Ytex. Really nice setup. Some light scratches, but a really nice racket. Siraj Parmakar had TM Djokovic with TM winning, and he chose Serena Williams to beat Madison Keys in the final.
Wow. That was a... What the hell were you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I guess I could have, graphed Serena a little bit, but not quite Madison Keys. I don't think she was carrying the car keys like someone said last major. She didn't have the keys, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think she would have it this time.
Yeah.
So that's all I've got right out of the bag. So today, Carla and I have been meeting with people about the house. The kids are getting back registered for school. So we've been doing a lot of running around. And while I was driving, she did some writing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it over to Carla.
Yeah, we got a lot of cleaning to do, so we'll be doing that in the next few days, cleaning our stuff.
Yeah, we were, the insurance person came here, not our insurance. We didn't have renter's insurance, but the homeowner's insurance, the guy or gentleman that came that are going to reconstruct the house, they got a look of it. So we're going to start basically throwing stuff out.
Throwing a lot of stuff out.
So we'll start on that probably tomorrow.
Alex Couillard did get your email and your picture. And I will show that picture and we'll talk about that.
I didn't get a picture.
You didn't really want to talk about it.
What?
About the sign.
Oh, okay. Okay. We'll get there. I didn't know there was a picture.
Yeah, there was a picture that he sent me because I wanted proof. All right, well, the big news is Serena withdraws, right?
I mean,
Did we see that coming?
I mean, if you think it's big news. I don't think it's big news.
Well, the big news today was that.
Okay.
Are we shocked by that? I mean, she says she can't play for 4 to 6 weeks because her Achilles tendon, right?
Correct.
Is bothering her. She can barely walk. She said at the US Open she felt it, but she felt like she could still play this tournament. I mean, you said today she should retire from tennis. And I said, well, why should she retire if Venus can't win a first round and still hasn't retired?
Well, the debate is this. Why retire if it's for the love of the game? Okay, if you love something, play it forever. Play it until you're 105 or until you can't play it anymore. There's a difference where I'm going with this. If Serena Williams is only playing to break this record of 24, which we all know is a completely lopsided argument, in my opinion. You know, some of the older school followers will be like, you know, it's not Margaret Court's fault that she played in a different era and time. That the count is the count. I think it goes without saying if Margaret Court played Serena Williams, prime and prime, who would win that? And one would get destroyed. I don't need to go any farther. But what we can't forget about is father time or mother time. Time and tide wait for no man and no woman. She will be 40 years old coming up. Now, Carla, what happened to me in my late 30s when I continued to try to play with the big boys, the collegiate players, the heavy hitters? You know, I could play with them for a match or two, but then for a week or two, I would literally be limping around. Now, Carla, what were the two tendons that bothered me the most? I would wake up every day after playing with college players or whatever at 40 years old, and, you know, they're 19, 20, 21, and carrying my own. But the next morning or for the next week, Carla, what would bother me? What?
I don't know, your ankles.
My knees.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't with you at college.
I'm talking about before I blew out my patellar tendon. I would hobble down the steps every day saying I can't even get down the steps.
You had knee issues for a long time.
So my knee issues, and again, I'm a unique human being just like everybody else, but my knee issues started in my mid-20s.
Who's older? How old is Roger? Roger's what?
39.
39. So
Yeah.
they're the same age.
Very close.
Same age.
Federer's birthday is her birthday.
Yeah.
Federer is born August 8th of 70.
Well, Serena's birthday is in
1980.
September, so they're the same age.
So they're really close. Federer is 8'8", and she's 8'8", so that's how I remember those two.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have something like an Achilles tendon, which if you don't know is the thick tendon that comes up behind the ankle and runs up into the calf muscle, which gives you the ability to step on your toes and to flatten back down and to roll off your foot when you're running. Tendons are some of the biggest non-blood supplied things in your body. The quadriceps tendon, the patellar tendon, the quadricep tendon runs from your middle abdomen area to the top of the quadricep. The patellar tendon, which I ruptured, connects the quadricep to the bottom part of your leg through the patella, which is the kneecap, and that enables you to lift your knee up. Well, the other tendon that is just absolute necessary for movement in the legs.
Terry's like, goodbye, Serena, retire already.
Okay, so I'll make this more brief. I ignored my aching patellar tendons on my knees for many years. And what happened, Carla, one day when I was playing you and I jumped up for an overhead, what happened?
Yeah.
I ruptured my patellar tendon, my leg snapped in half. I took the fall on my arm after that and broke my wrist in two. And still, 9 months later, I'm still dealing with a second break on the same arm because I tried playing too quickly after that and I broke it again. So at 40 years old with aching Achilles tendons, which by the way does not go away. It may heal, but you are always going to deal with that. You can get injections, you can try to strengthen it. But at 40 years old, what are you asking your body to do? To perform like a 22-year-old that's just jumping on the scene? Do you really think that a 40-year-old woman is going to be able to compete at a very high level, regardless of the surface? And now I say compete, rewind that. Be able to win a major on any surface at 40 years of age?
I think if anyone could do it, it could be her. One. Two, I mean, I like this comment here. I mean, Matt Cain says, should Roger not retire too then? I think they're both still contender for big titles.
Again, the moral of the story is if it's for the love of the game, then, love you a lot.
I don't think that she should retire. She's not losing. There is, okay, this was tough. Back-to-back Grand Slams, so close. One. Two, we talked about all the players coming back to play competitive tennis and how their bodies would react. There would be many injuries. This is one injury.
Her Achilles tendon has nothing to do with the French Open or the temperature. This has to do with wear and tear over the years.
Wear and tear at the U.S. Open too. The way she was moving, it's tough to move. She needs to lose a little bit more weight. We talked about that. This gives her time to get ready for Australian Open. We knew she wasn't going to do that good at the French Open, so that's okay.
Here's a metaphor here.
And again, she has physical trainers. She has
that doesn't matter, Carla.
She has all the doctors you don't have. She can get better.
She can get better. I understand that. But the question is why don't we have a 40-year-old quarterback in the NFL outside of Tom Brady? And they don't even do that much running in a 5-step drop and pass the ball. Why don't we have these marathon runners from Kenya and all these people that run all these marathons? Why do they eventually have to stop? The wear and tear piles up. And unless you've been through catastrophic injuries and the nagging pains that begin to build up before you get the catastrophic injury like I've had, major injuries during my athletic career, major ones, unless you've been through that, then you can tell yourself, okay, well, she's got this nutritionist, she's got 27 trainers. I
understand that, but I don't think she should retire.
I get it, but the question I'm asking is if she's playing for the love of the game and that's it, then play. Absolutely, continue to play.
She will retire at her own terms, okay?
She's not going to have this story where she lifts the Wimbledon trophy and sets it down and says, "See you later."
Probably not.
That's not going to happen.
Probably not. But you can always try. Never let anyone tell you that you cannot.
I agree with that.
And that is messed up for you to say.
I'm not saying she can't.
What did you like when the doctor told you couldn't play tennis anymore?
No.
Okay, then.
But is my leg anywhere close to the way it used to be, Carla?
No.
It doesn't look the same. My kneecap is different.
But you cannot. But she doesn't have a kneecap that came off or whatever. She has an Achilles tendon. She can keep playing tennis.
As long as that Achilles tendon, the tendon is talking to her. Hey, this hurts down here.
I get it, and that's what she's taking a break. She's not young. Obviously, she doesn't have that many years left to play in Grand Slams. Maybe next year is her last year, and she will have to hang it up.
Okay, so I guess she'll just take another 4 to 6 weeks off, and time will keep ticking.
That's up to her. She has the money, and she can do it. So what? Roger Federer took the whole year off. They're the same age.
She will not win another major. She will not.
Okay.
A 40-year-old woman is not fixing to win a major with a bunch of whippersnappers out there that are already doing very well by the bucket loads.
I get that, Carteri. Serena has a family now. Her daughter needs her. Which part of you don't get? Aren't there a million women that are in the military and their mothers?
But they're not trying to win a major tournament.
What do you mean her mother needs her? She can afford all the nannies. She can take her daughter with her everywhere. That makes no sense what Carteri said. Are you serious?
I get dumber with your take on Serena. But wait
a minute.
I'm a Serena fan.
He says her daughter needs her. Are you serious? My kids need me, and I have to do certain things. That made no sense.
It makes plenty of sense.
Are you telling me she's abandoning her daughter because she's playing Grand Slams? Her daughter's this little.
That's just a figure of speech, Karma.
Come on, man.
No, I get it. I totally get that. But you have to be kidding yourself. If
it doesn't matter. She can keep playing. Does it really matter? Is it bothering you?
I will take a 2-to-1 bet with anyone out there. And if someone wants to take it, I'll take it. 2-to-1 bet meaning. Put $100 on the table. $100, make the bet with me. $100. And if Serena Williams wins a major, I'll pay you $200. Okay. But if she does not win a major before she retires, I want my $100.
We're on crack. It's just crazy that you can tell somebody you should retire. The woman makes it to finals. It's different if she's like her sister losing in the first round. She obviously could compete against the 20-year-olds. Shame on the 20-year-olds for not beating a mother that's almost 40 and still overweight. Shame on them.
What happened last time Serena and Osaka played? What happened?
She lost.
Okay.
And then she beat her. She did beat her.
Anyway, which one was a major final?
And she lost to Kerber. She lost to Halep. She lost to Andreescu.
Serena just played one round and had to pull out before her second round match started. But she's all set to win another major. Mm-hmm. Your argument is like talking to a brick wall.
Anyway, someone said what happened with your hair. He's on crack. That's what happened to his hair.
Man, I used to have hair down to my butt, by the way. I used to have it way down to my butt. Oh, but when I let it grow, I'm gonna go dreadlocks. But when I let it grow,
dreadlocks. Now who you want to be?
When I used to have them before.
Don't even grow dreadlocks, please.
But look, when I let it grow, it goes through a
too much. I'm playing, obviously.
Anyway, you're wrong about Serena Williams.
What I'm saying is you're wrong for saying she should retire. Anyone's wrong.
I didn't say I said she should retire if she's only playing to tie it to pass Margaret Court because it's not going to happen. I said play forever, for crying out loud, until you're 104. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rewind it. And I said, if it's for the love of the game, then play forever.
Michael says she doesn't have to retire. She's still competitive at 39, like Billie Jean was at 39.
Well said. Different eras.
This guy said, then tell Azarenka to retire then.
Well, I think Azarenka's in a little bit better shape, to say the least.
Okay, but he was saying she's too skinny. She's not the form that she used to be, like many years ago.
But she didn't just pull out of the second round.
No, she just lost in the second round pretty badly.
What? I'm getting dumber.
Yeah.
I
look dumber by looking at you.
Does anyone want to take my 2-to-1 bet? I will pay you $200 if she
said it's not like Serena's losing to lower ranked players outside top 100.
I get it. She's still one of the best in the world. But when she plays one of those elite few that are better than her now, and she has to win a quarterfinal, a semifinal, and then a final against them,
Oh my God.
It's not going to happen.
Richard Sylvester says Margaret's court record is a farce. She
Agreed.
only won 11 the Open era. The rest of the titles won was only amateurs could play Grand Slam tournaments.
Exactly.
Alex says she's still top 10. The thing
Agreed.
is, we can't tell the lady to retire. Let her continue. You never know. All you need is an opportunity. Opportunities always happen, and at the right time. You never know. You never know. Never say never.
Poll question.
I hope Federer wins a slam.
He
Just
won't-
to
he
slam
won't-
it in
he-
your face.
he won't
and I hope
either.
Serena wins one.
Federer will not win another slam either. I would
Wasn't
love.
there someone out there who bet me something and they just lost to yesterday?
Who?
We made a bet. No, there was a bet. Oh, Zverev. He almost lost. Damn. He almost lost.
Poll question. Answer yeses and nos. Does Serena Williams win another major? Does she win one more major?
Probably not.
And she
but
would
let
need
her
2 to
try.
pass, but does she win one more?
Let her try. There's nothing wrong with trying. It's not killing you. It's not taking money out of your pockets.
I could care less if she retires or
She
stays.
has a daughter, Carteri. Pironkova has a daughter. There's many players. Clijsters has a daughter. So you're going to tell Clijsters, go be a mom because you've got 3 kids, honey?
Clijster's got 7 cinnamon rolls for a chin. She's already doing that.
I'm just saying, like he's saying she should go back and go be a mother instead of playing tennis. Come on, man.
I agree.
What?
I agree with him there
Oh
because
my God.
if you're playing for the
Oh
love of the
my
game,
God.
continue to play. But if you're playing to break this record, it's just not going to happen. Accept it.
Georgie says Ivanisevic was a wild card winner after 4-3 loss in Wimbledon finals. So,
Yes,
4-3.
I mean that's a good fact. but
Anyways.
I don't think he was a 40-year-old mother of one.
Oh, yeah. All right. Anyways. Sinisa says she can play, but competitive tennis going away from her. Yeah, I get that.
I think that's probably the most even Steven comment
Yes,
yet.
yes,
so
yes.
she said it real.
So Matt Kane said, why doesn't Roger get this much heat?
He does get that much heat.
Not from everybody.
No, well, Roger hasn't been, consistently in the news since the pandemic started.
Alex, I love your message. Tell Novak and Roger to go be fathers then. Exactly. I'm telling you, the women stuff and the guy stuff is so uneven.
No, that's different. And Roger Federer is in that same category as Serena Williams. Do you think Roger Federer is going to come back and next year? I'm assuming will be his farewell year. He'll play the majors and maybe not even play the U.S. if he lifts the Wimbledon trophy.
Team Gross tells you if she had that attitude, she wouldn't have won as many as she had, though, Justin.
I'm not debating that. I'm debating time and tide. I'm debating the human body as time moves forward. I'm not debating anything else. I'm a Serena fan. I hope she breaks a record. I agree with whoever said that the record was a farce, because it is. More than half of Margaret Court's majors were at the Australian Open when it was not even open era and no one played in them. It was like all qualifiers from that continent alone. It's like playing a junior tournament.
When Chia says Serena still has a good chance, she has a better chance of winning a slam than I thought Murray had before he won one.
Yeah, I mean, again, the body breaks down.
Obviously, the body breaks down for everything.
And next year, she'll come back into a fresh year where everyone's as hungry as ever. The beginning of the year, they're looking for the hot start. They're ready to
I
get
agree.
It's just she's going to get pummeled. And she might make a 4th round. She may make a final. But I just don't see a 40-year-old body pushing through 2 weeks of grinding it out and the warm-ups before and the exhibitions and the practice matches before. I think
well, she needs to be smart about that.
But here's the thing. She'll be selective. She might only play Brisbane or one exhibition with Sharapova or some shit like that to sell tickets. I get that. But when she rolls into a tournament against, say, Halep or Andreescu or Osaka that's young enough to have played the exhibition, to have played 2 warm-ups.
Here's Andreescu. Andreescu's still in.
I mean,
who knows?
Who knows? But
anyways,
I'll take the bet. But it sounds like no one wants to take it. So money talks, bullshit walks. If you think Serena's going to play another major, I'll pay you 2-to-1 odds. I'll pay you $200.
Michael Walker said, remember, Serena's the most successful player in her 30s
money
and
talks.
mid-30s.
Take
no
the
one
money.
has been successful majors. You can take his money.
Then bet
have
me.
to divide it.
Then bet me.
Anyway,
put it here in comments.
Anyway, shut up.
Bet me.
I'm tired of hearing you about this.
No one wants to put
I
it
don't
up.
even want to hear this anymore.
Money talks.
Next subject.
Let the money talk.
Verdasco and Zemmour are going to sue the French Open after their COVID-19 tests. As we know, Zemmour's coach got tested positive, but he didn't have it, so he was not allowed to play in the tournament. Verdasco, before he had tested positive in August with no symptoms, and then he was retested, and came out negative. Before he traveled to the French Open, he was negative. Well, they decided to test him, and he came out positive. He said he was forced to withdraw and says the test is not accurate. Same thing happened to Raonic. Same thing happened to Bencic. He tested positive in August, no symptoms, negative test before arriving. And when they did the test and it came out positive, and he said, "Can you please retest me again?" He was denied of that test. He said, quote, "This isn't about the money. It's about the damage that has been done to me personally and professionally." So it's two people that are going to sue the French Open. I mean, they let Benoit Paire play, so I don't understand this.
I was fixing to say something that along the lines of maybe it's, the players that, have been, kind of in hot spots in the past few years of tennis. Verdasco would be one of those, but so would Benoit Paire, so that wouldn't make any sense. I'm curious of who is there like one all-seeing eye that is making these decisions? Because it doesn't seem like the same criterion are being applied to every player.
Yes, exactly. That's what he's mad about.
So, yeah, I think Verdasco...
He's mad about that because not only that, they said they were supposed to be in a bubble, but I saw an article where fans and other people are allowed to check into those hotels. So how are you in a bubble?
And I did hear there was some player discontent, if that's the proper word, about whereas like at the U.S. Open, players that could afford to stay outside of the quote-unquote bubble type, controlled atmosphere, they could rent or go out and rent private homes or private condominiums and so forth. But I heard they could not do that here at the French. But yet at the same time, there I guess inconsistencies within this bubble around the locker room and teams that it's really not controlled very much at all. So how can they make people play or not play given that? I think that's his argument.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, and I like this comment. This guy says 1,000 players must be really afraid of testing these days. A positive test and you're out. I mean, I think Verdasco should go for it. He has nothing to lose. Zumor has more to gain from it because he needs that financial, he needs the help. So I think that they should go for it. It makes no sense to me how Benoit Paire was allowed to play, and he's French, but these guys weren't allowed to play. Especially if they tested negative before they arrived. And you're saying you're in a bubble, but that's not the fact.
And that's a good point too there.
Yeah.
Benoit Paire is French. Now this is an assumption or a conspiracy theory, but I'll tell a story real quick, and it's a short one. But Carl and I know some people, obviously won't mention a name, and they had signed up for their family to go take one of these tests for COVID-19. So they got to this doctor's office. It was at a doctor's office, and they got there, and the line was really, really, really long. So they decided not even to go inside. They turned around, got out of the line, and went back home, and just whatever, canceled their appointment. Well, about 2 weeks later, they all got test results in the mail, and hers, the mother, was positive. But no one even took the test in the first place. So again, it's a crappy scenario.
I know many people now that have been sick, very, very, very sick. Their test comes out negative. They go again. Are you sure? I'm very sick. Oh my God, I can't even get up. Negative, and then when they're fine, it's positive.
Yeah.
So obviously, the human being knows shit about COVID-19, and we're just guessing.
Sounds about right. We're
just freaking guessing.
So since we're doing that, let's just make Zumor and Verdasco hit the highway. And since, Pierre's tested twice positively, we'll just let him play. So I get the suit.
He lost today anyway.
I understand.
So
he lost?
Yeah, he did lose.
Really?
Corey's brother beat him.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Federico Corey. Let's get down.
We have Clorox as the vaccine. Laugh out loud. Yeah, perhaps, Alex. Let's go to the next thing, and I'll show you your picture, Alex, but let's go to Irani. And Bertens match. That was an ugly match.
That was an ugly match.
Irani was mocking Bertens as she was cramping.
No, before you wrote all this, we watched the match. I'm curious to see how you wrote it and how you took it in. And I know how I took it in, but let me put this into context real quick in case you didn't see this. Mm-hmm. Irani was definitely mocking Bertens. I mean, was definitely mocking her. I think, though, her mocking was bad sportsmanship, obviously, but I think she probably thought at that point in time that Bertens was kind of faking. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, sometimes at junior tournaments, we'll bring our kids to them or whatever, and they'll be playing someone, and maybe they're up big or what. And sometimes, you'll have someone that'll fall down on the ground and be like, oh, my leg's cramping, just to get a timeout real quick, So I think that was the context of it, and she began to mock her, but it really wasn't. It was really the real deal, but anyway.
Well, anyway, she was having problems with her toss. We watched her 4 times toss the ball up. I mean, how freaking hard is it at that freaking, don't even go there, as a tennis level, to toss the ball right in front of you, even if you can't toss it and it's going behind you? Well, put it right in front of you and just go, go half a serve or something. I thought it was ridiculous, and then she tried to underhand serve.
That was
lost the point. How do you not know how to toss a ball?
Well,
come on, man.
Yeah,
even my 8-year-old can toss the ball better than going 4 times behind like that.
That was something I don't think I've ever seen in my entire life. My father's 82, grew up playing the game, coaches it. He's never seen anything like that. I don't think anyone has seen anything like that in their entire life. If you didn't watch it,
awful.
So Arani, when you toss the ball, now I get if you're 8, 9, 10-year-old junior student, you're just learning to serve. You know, we go against the fence and we have toss drills. You know, hey, you let it fall on the face of your racket and da 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 da. But once you get past that, your toss is pretty much on the money. But when she was doing this, you know, her hand wasn't like tossing it right. It wasn't floating off the fingertips. The fingers weren't elevated. It looked like she was like really like.
It looks like she was doing it on purpose.
It looks like she was doing it on purpose.
And first of all, how do you stand? The other thing that I noticed is when you serve, you don't stand like you're playing doubles. She was so close to the doubles line. It was crazy. I mean, you serve from there. What's going to happen is going to be put all the way to your right. It was ridiculous.
So what Carla's saying is when this was happening, let's say Arani was serving, you know, in the singles court, you want to serve, I'm not saying right on the center hash mark, but you don't want to serve over here near the doubles alley like you do in doubles, because if your serve goes in, you leave the down the line shot wide open. So not only was she serving in the wrong place, I mean, you could serve there, but what would be the point be, especially playing someone like Bertens that could snap that forehand down the line or take the backhand. So she was way over here, and then at the same point in time she was doing that, it didn't even look like her arm.
I think
it wasn't even lifting. It wasn't even floating the ball. Like when we coach tossing, we're like, you know, this is a bird. It's an egg, and the bird just fell out of the net. We want to give the ball, the little bird, some lift.
I think, honestly,
we don't want to throw it, and she was like throwing it.
She was doing it on purpose, and for you to say that maybe she thought Bertens was cramping by like faking it.
2 different incidents.
First of all, it is 2 different incidents. I don't think so, because when that match was done, she didn't even acknowledge Bertens. She didn't even walk right by, which tells me she's a bitch. On top of that, she came back from a drug suspension. So she should shut her mouth and try not to make fool of people.
Fair enough.
Okay, she needs to shut up and be lucky that she's still playing tennis on the tour.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So we had.
She sucks. I'm sorry.
We had Siegemund that pulled the whack sportsmanship against Mladenovic with the double bounce. Clearly it was a double bounce. Unfortunately, that didn't go her way, and she got the worst sportsmanship award as of yesterday.
Oh, we watched that video. It was a double bounce.
Definitely a double bounce.
Definitely a double bounce.
Another way you can tell, by the way, if a ball has double bounce, if you're a player.
Ronnie lost Sinisa. It was actually Bertens. She went on, I don't know if Sinisa's a girl or boy, but Bertens threw herself and she was crying. And they took her out in a wheelchair, by the way, crying.
Yeah, if you hit a ball, topspin, and a player catches it as they're running up to it after the second bounce, it will come off their racket, backspin. If you hit a ball backspin and it double bounces and you clip underneath it, the ball will change direction and come back over topspin. So you can tell from both the camera and the trajectory of the ball coming off, it was a double bounce. Now, Bertens won, clearly in excruciating pain. Now, Carla, you and
Carteri says, wow, Carla, you get scary. I've been through so much shit, Carteri, in my life, if I told you my story, that when I watch stupid ass people try to, be conniving or try to be malicious to her, it pisses me off. I mean, she shouldn't have been making fun of that girl. That girl, they took her on a wheelchair, and she still was screaming from the cramps. And for you not to have sportsmanship to at least tap your racket and acknowledge she won the match, you're an idiot.
Carla, how many times in our life have we dealt with the ability?
It's scary. I am from New York. We say how we feel. Simple as that.
Fair enough.
And I'm Spanish on top of that. Not a good combination.
A theory that I've learned to live by is this: there are two ways of arguing with a woman, and neither one works.
Oh my God! Alex says when Carla's on fire, Justin escapes the island.
I mean, for real. Look, remember this quote. There's 2 ways of arguing with a woman, and neither one works. So as long as you understand that, you're good to go. But how many times, Carla, in our athletic careers have we had debilitating cramps? Quite a few.
One.
I've had quite a few.
One.
Anyway,
but it hurts.
I've had quite a few. And there's really no way. Now, you can fake pain and you can roll around and whatever, but when you look at someone in the face, as you could see Bertens coming off the court, when the cramp hits, your muscle goes like regular to together. It like balls up, oh! It's really freaking bad.
I've never really gotten cramps playing tennis.
I've gotten bad
in the pool, like something happens to my toes where they get tight, It's horrible. I can't even like move them.
So two of the worst places to get cramps are the back or anywhere on the legs because the muscles are so big.
My dad got it in the back. He ended up in the hospital.
It is debilitating, mind jolting, deathbed feeling. I don't know the feeling of deathbed. I'm still here, but nonetheless excruciating. You could see Bertens was actually going through that. When she was in the wheelchair being carted off, it hit her again and again, and we were watching that. And you could tell it wasn't acting because you could see it hit her and her she would go through that jolting shock of that cramp tightening up. Mm-hmm. And you can't fake that. And just before that, Bertens is walking over to
and I didn't know Ronnie beat her 5 times before that. So good for Bertens, she deserved that.
Yeah, she was just pouting. So anyway, but then then to totally snub her and walk off the court. Yeah, she gets the worst sportsmanship of the tournament awards so far, and we are in day 2. So Sigmund, you are safe with your double bouncer, even though that was still just pitiful. But this one is worse.
Well, what about this one? Marcus Giron yesterday, he won his match, and a lot of you guys, B-Dog has sent me a message that he did a sign. I think you really didn't want to.
I don't believe it.
So here's the picture.
I don't believe it. I could care less about Marcus Giron, by the way.
Me too.
I'm not a fan. I think he played at UCLA or something. Okay, good for you. But I don't care for his game. I don't care for any American male's games right now. I don't care.
Here's the picture, guys.
There's
the thing. What do you think of that? I mean, I didn't know what to think of it. I mean, could it have been just him just putting his 3 fingers out?
Okay, look.
I mean, I don't know.
Can I speak from a young dude's perspective without you rambling on about, like, you know something about being a young dude because you're a girl?
No, I don't. Thank God.
I mean, look, there's so much shit going on in the world today. We've got, the police issues. We've got, by the way, no one even talks about this. I mean, didn't 2,300 people just get killed in Azerbaijan and Armenian conflict right now with Russian and Turkey interference on the other side of the Black Sea from Serbia and so forth? No one's even talking about that. Who cares about them? Let's talk about us other bullshit. But a lot of shit is going on in the world today. We've got COVID-19. We just had a hurricane here that destroyed the half of this island. I mean, damn, the list goes on. We've got inequality. We've got homeless people. But here we are, we're going to throw some dude in the mix that is just a young man. I don't know anything about him. And what was explained to us is he threw up some hand signal.
Matt Cain saying it's also an okay sign.
Okay, I would believe this. Now, Matt Cain is in London and of African descent, and we love him a lot. And he spreads positive energy to everyone, the same like I try to do. He does a much better job. I mention that because that's what Matt Cain does, and you should check his stuff out. Check out his music. Check out his Instagram. It's beautiful. Anyway, but here's this. Okay, it was told to us that this kid, Marcus Giron, threw up some symbol upside down that represented the KKK. Well, if you don't know what that is, it's some just stupid-ass hate group that has to do with suppression of I'm not even going to get into what, it doesn't even matter. Who gives a shit? But the moral of the story here has to be false because the kid has brown hair and...
Someone said he's half Asian.
Yeah, he's half Asian.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from California. He doesn't even look white. So if anything, that group would want to get rid of him, I'm guessing. So it makes no sense. It's fake news. And let me tell you something. When I was a young buck, whether college, high school, if I saw a girl like Carla walking down the street, I'd be like, what's up, girl? Damn. Hey, Miss Parker. I'd be like, damn. And what, is someone going to take a still shot of my hands and tell me I'm throwing up, alien invasion signs or some shit?
I don't know what to think of that. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know any of that.
Nah, fake news. There's no way. Thank you for letting us know where he's from. Again, we didn't bring this up. This was not. Someone told us that.
That was B-Dog. B-Dog's gonna kick your ass. B-Dog can kick ass.
He can kick ass, and that's why I love him. I keep him close. But it just wouldn't make any. It wouldn't make any logical sense.
Shut up, 101. Why do you keep telling me move on all the time?
That's all right.
Always says move on. What do you want me to talk about? Let's hear.
You give us a topic.
Okay, come on. I'm waiting for you to type something.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Now, who wants to?
What do you want me to move on to?
Who is it?
1OM.
1OM.
I'm listening.
Next topic's yours.
Come on. I'm waiting.
Waiting on you.
Let's go. Everybody wants to hear what 1OM has to say.
I can't wait.
He always says move on. Waiting. Does anybody else wants to hear about what 1OM wants to say?
Waiting on you, bro.
Anybody? No? Nobody's chatting? No? Okay.
All right.
1OM called into the show and do the topic, bro. That's right, Team Bros. Let's go.
Do it. Roll on. That's why the comments are there.
Nadal.
Still
okay.
waiting.
Teens, just a troll. Got it. All right, Lars says Nadal was smoking today. Yeah, I didn't really want to talk about his match because it really wasn't a match.
Who?
Nadal McDonald's? It wasn't a match.
Well, for Nadal to lay it down like that, there was a bagel in there too. Wasn't it a 6-1, 6-0, 6-3? It was quite lopsided.
Yeah, and he went through that pretty quickly.
And Mackenzie McDonald, again, your typical American player. How good are you really going to play? But you would think that
6-1, 6-0, 6-3.
I said it exactly. You would think though that second round of the French Open, no matter who you are, if you got to the second round, you could put up a better struggle than that. And so maybe it's a sign that Nadal is warming up a bit. What do you think?
I think so. I think Wayne Chia said that Nadal was looking good, and Thiem not so much.
Yeah, and look. Every Division I college in the United States, for the most part, has their 1, 2, and 3 players look exactly like Mackenzie McDonald, play the same game, serve in a forehand, serve in a jumping, leaping, two-handed backhand, but mostly a serve, a forehand, and then an inside-out forehand, and then another forehand, and then another inside-out forehand. Look at Jack Sock. To start naming them. This kid, Marcus Giron. Name some more. Look at all of them. Any American player that's young right now, and even some of the older ones.
Query.
Serving a forehand. Serving a fair.
Not Fritz. Well, Fritz a little bit different. You got Opelka.
Well, Opelka just has the serve for the most part.
Mm-hmm. They're McDonald's forgot Team McDonald's today.
Yeah, they're one-dimensional players. That's what you're going to get, and that's why American tennis sucks right now, because that's what you get. You get a serve and a forehand. Or a serve and an inside-out forehand, or a serve, a forehand, and an inside-out forehand.
Well, he faces Nadal will face Travaglia, who beat Nishikori in, guess what?
5 sets.
5 sets.
Nishikori, I wonder what the percentage of his matches at majors, what percentage of those matches were 5 sets. So X is the amount of matches he's ever played at a major, and Y is the number of those matches that went 5 sets. What do you think? 80%?
I would say
75%?
Yeah, I would say.
But good for Nishikori to be back. Where does he go from here?
Yeah. Next match was Korda. What's his first name? Sebastian Korda beats Isner in 3 sets, right?
Yeah.
Was it 3 sets?
Yeah, and I like the whole family. The Korda family has been around a long time, and they do a lot for the game, from coaching.
No, it was 4 sets. 6-4, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4.
Yeah, but good for him. Glad to see it.
Yeah.
And as well with
second win.
And as well with Federico Coria. Good for them. It's nice to see it running in the family. I think it's a beautiful
thing. This guy
thing.
said, "Do you guys think there's some arrogance towards clay for British/American tennis circles?" I think that
some arrogance.
Yeah, like maybe they don't like playing on it. I think for Americans, and I can tell you from myself and other people that I know, we just don't accept the clay, or maybe we should. We don't like it. We really hate playing on it. The slowness of it. It's just, I don't know.
I don't,
a lot of juniors
question.
don't like playing on it. I never enjoyed it. I won my matches, but I felt like my weapons weren't there when I played clay. I don't like ruling tennis.
Yeah.
I don't like the back and forth. I want to save my body.
Well, for me, it was a different. You were raised a baseliner. I was raised serve and volleyer, and it was always difficult.
Green clay is still slow though, Michael Walker.
That's the majority of our course are green clay, so we know green clay pretty well. We've taught on green clay for a while as well.
Like it.
So I don't mind playing on it, but as a serve and volleyer growing up, and Michael Walker can be a testament for this. He has a multi-generational tennis mind, but it was very tough to get to the net and split step on time to have a good look at the volley. So clay was something that was very hard for me to adjust to until I didn't adjust to a more modular hollow core racket and more baselining game until my mid-20s. I was still serving and volleying right up until the early 90s, and then it had to change at that point.
Wayne and Chia said, "Do you guys notice that there were generally more unforced errors made? Could it be due to the conditions being usually slow?" I mean, if you think about it, the more balls come back, yeah, you're going to make an unforced error. I mean, eventually you get tired of it, Also,
too, cooler temperatures can make your muscles not swing as freely.
Yeah.
And if we're hitting shots, a lot of times if you're around coaches, you'll hear them, one coach will ask another, hey, Coach A, how was your student doing today? Or how were your students doing today? Well, some of them were playing well, but the others weren't swinging freely. You've heard this. We say it all the time.
Yes.
So when we're swinging freely, we're not tight. We're free flowing. We used to give Sakari a tough time when she would hit really robotic. And Maria Sakari has calmed that down a bit. But when you see people hitting tight, kind of robotic, like Tiafo on his forehand, he gets up here and then kind of really robotic through the strike zone. What you're trying to look for that free flowing And that's why we warm up before we play. That's why we're doing, laps right before we start. We want to be free.
Yes,
so when we're cooler,
yeah.
we're tighter, which may have a little to do with unforced errors as well.
Hard courts in this, yeah, you're right. They're bad for the body, but I just enjoy them. I can hit my shots clean. I guess I hate not having my feet. I think the problem is my feet are not planted. They're sliding everywhere, and I don't like that unbalanced. I like to be balanced when I hit the ball. I don't like that feeling like I'm not, maybe because I've never learned really how to slide. They don't really teach that here. That's the other problem. In American tennis, you might be doing your lessons in clay, but no one's really teaching you how to slide into the shot. Whereas I watch coaches from Europe teaching their students without a ball or anything, just how to slide, how to move, how to walk on it. They don't do that here.
Also, if there's been multiple clubs we've been associated with or courts where we will have one section of a stream of courts, say hard court, and then another set of courts divided by like a sidewalk or something that are a clay court. It's odd to me. We know a court is 78 feet long. We know that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's odd, though, that you can sometimes stand on a hard court and go to the center hash mark like you're about to serve, and then you can walk over to the clay courts and be teaching the same type of lesson just with a different student on a different court because it's open and now that one isn't. And it almost seems like the hard court looks bigger, but it's not. It's the same size, but, it's like getting like this pen. These pens are the same length, right? But if you lay them down on a sheet of paper and then put this one on top, the pen on top generally looks bigger. I don't know. It's a mental thing. It's a perception thing. But when I'm playing on a hard court, it feels bigger to me. I feel like I can hit the ball harder and more freely. I feel like on the clay, I have to add spin for it to drop in. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It just feels like it's smaller, but it's not. I don't know. It just feels different.
Michael Walker says McEnroe played extremely well on clay in 1984, on clay in 1984. Edberg got to Roland Garros final playing serve and volley. Did he ever win?
Who?
Edberg.
I don't think Edberg ever won a French.
No, Rafter and Tin Henman did well at Roland Garros playing serve and volley, but they never won.
Yeah, no, Rafter won 2 U.S. Opens.
They never won.
Rafter was one of my favorite players of all time simply because of that. I was a surfer. I grew up surfing, and so did he. Mm-hmm. But he won 2 consecutive U.S. Opens. Am I right?
I think so. Something like that.
Something like...
Yeah, he donated the money.
Was it like 90? Let's see if I can guess that. Rafter U.S. Open, 99 and 2000?
I don't remember.
Is that right?
They can look it up. Kajungu guy, 1950 says, why only one green clay tournament, women's in South Carolina?
That's a great question.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a great question.
Right there, we're saying in the United States, hey, we don't like clay.
And
right there, we're saying it,
And that must be a 250 there in South Carolina. Is that in Columbia? That's got to be a really small tournament there. Volvo or some little
something like that.
But yeah, if it's in South Carolina, I'm guessing it's in Columbia.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's a 250. But yeah, that's just a great question. I know green clay is much cheaper. So when we would order clay at different clubs and supply it for the grounds crews to keep up with the courts, the green clay was much more attainable, much more readily available, and much cheaper to take in. So it was more economical to use the green than it was the red.
Someone said also Houston, there's a tournament in Houston, must be a small one.
We've heard of that actually.
And then how about Charleston? But there's not many clay tournaments here. That's
Charleston. There you go.
Let's go here. Oh, Rafter won 1997, 1998.
Okay, I was close.
Bring back blue clay. Laugh out loud. Just kidding. That's sister to queen. That was horrible. When I remember that tournament, that was awful on the eyes. Like I couldn't stand looking at that clay. It's just like
didn't at that same tournament that year when they had the blue clay? Wasn't that Madrid? Wasn't it somewhere in Spain? Didn't they have like the super hot ball girls? Mm-hmm. They had blue clay and like ball girls that were like damn, like super hot ball girls.
Yes.
Same tournament?
Yes.
Where was that? Was that Madrid, Barcelona, somewhere in Spain? I think.
I don't remember. But I remember they had the girls with their boobies like sticking up. They were wearing the push-up bras and stuff.
I think Nadal was even sitting next to one. We were watching one match, and even he couldn't even help but to look. He's like, I really can't. I'm not supposed to be looking there, but you can't. You couldn't really help it.
Yep. Let's talk about the next match. So Korda's gonna face Martinez, who beat Kukushkin.
What about Sinner and Bonzi?
Sinner won, by the way.
Let's go.
In 3 sets.
So we got.
It was Madrid, by the way.
Thank you.
Sinner won. That's awesome, and he's gonna face Coria. Another, a veteran.
That'll be a good match.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Good possibility for Sinner.
We first saw Yannick Sinner, he was a junior Carla. Then we saw him once again at, what was it? At some point in time, we were so wrapped up in next gen cheesy bullshit. You know, the big three, and then it was like the next gen, and then next gen, and then the next gen. You know, something to sell something. And we saw Sinner then, and we said, okay, this kid looks like, you know, he may have a shot.
I like this.
A couple of months ago, we did a show, and I think the title of it, or part of it, was The Rise of Sinner. We mentioned that on the last one. Here he is moving into the third round of the French Open.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Cecchinato wins, beats Londero, and will face Zverev, who a lot of you guys are upset that saying Zverev is a cheater. Why? That you should have won this in 4 sets. I saw some comments from you guys earlier saying that Zverev is a cheater. I don't know.
Zverev won?
Yeah, he won in 5 sets.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Air Bear, too.
So do we think Cecchinato has a good chance? I think so. Against Zverev?
I think Cecchinato will beat Zverev.
Yeah, Sinner's on my fantasy team too, Team Gross.
Yeah, both of you guys are doing very well.
So Zverev is a cheater. He volleyed across the net. And what, the umpire didn't, we didn't watch that match.
Okay, there's a rule for this. I didn't see this, but tell me if this is what happened. Okay, if you're a tennis player and the ball is coming to you, you cannot reach across the net and hit the ball before the ball crosses the net. If the ball has crossed your side of the net, you can volley the ball, and the racket can clear the other side of the net as long as you don't touch it, and it's still illegal play.
Maritiel said he took the volley before the ball passed the net.
Then it's illegal.
Okay.
Why
didn't anyone see that?
That's an illegal shot.
Why didn't anyone see that?
So where was the chair umpire on that one? I'm curious. And by the way, where was the chair umpire during Siegemann's match with Mladenovic? Because that's 2 pretty blatant misses. That's the chair umpire's duty, is to be on net, and then, of course, to overrule calls as he's got a better look at the lines from up high, a higher altitude. But those are the 2 domains. So we have 2 chair umpires in this tournament that have missed very important calls here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Well, I mean, these guys are not doing much but sitting there. You're only watching 2 people. Come on now.
Sounds like it this year.
Lars said you should view Colt tennis video on Blue Clay. It's very good for understanding what happened. Okay. Send me the link.
What is it? What is this called?
You should view Colt tennis video on Blue Clay. It's very good for understanding what happened.
Okay. Why not?
Okay. Hawkeye. They need Hawkeye on clay already. Yeah, and they need replay, obviously.
Didn't we see a tournament this year though on clay that had that new? It wasn't Hawkeye. It was the British variation thereof that has been behind the scenes as businesses competing for the ultimate prize, is to be the #1 product on these tours. We did a show about it too. It was Hawkeye, and what was the British version? And it involved cameras set up everywhere instead of a computer AI developing the trajectory of the ball. Both of them had a variance of flaw or error of about 0.03%. And the camera one had almost...
Rio de Janeiro had Hawkeye.
And okay, we know, yeah, so what was the one though, what is the British company that is competing with Hawkeye right now? It's not the same exact technology, hence why they're competing. It's cameras that are placed. It's like you can see the ball in real time, hit the line, and the ball, you can see it super slow motion, and it kind of compresses and jumps back off. There was a clay tournament this year that used that.
Someone said Rio de Janeiro used it.
Or maybe that was it. But
yeah.
But there's a British company. Hawkeye is Hawkeye. The British company has their version of it and has another catchy name.
We talked about it.
We talked about it,
yeah. TM will face Rude.
That's going to be a good match.
Rude went to 5 sets with Tommy Paul. That was a good match.
All right, well, okay. Tommy Paul is to Mackenzie McDonald, is to Riley Opelka, is to Jack Sock. They're all the same damn dude. I mean, anyway, I think it'll be a good match. The only reason why I'm going with TM here is, #1, I think he's the better player. But #2, after the 5 sets, and especially against someone like Tommy Paul, I expected Rude to win that in straight sets, and somehow it went 5. That'll hurt him moving forward. TM stops his run here. If not, I wouldn't be terribly shocked. But Casper Ruud is really good on clay.
Gaston beats Nishioka and will face Wawrinka.
Let's go, Wawa.
That's good for Wawrinka.
Let's go, Wawa.
They were playing the match, and I saw a little video where they heard a sonic boom, and they were like, "What the hell was that?" Sounded like there was war going outside.
I think France flies Dassault Rafale aircraft, so one of those probably hit the sonic barrier.
It's called
or something.
Fox 10.
Fox 10. There you go. Who did that?
Matt Kane.
Thank you, bro. From London to be expected. Cheers, Mike.
Yeah, yep. Michael says the British company is using the old McEnroe CBS used to use at the U.S. Open.
There you go.
Gotcha. Schwartzman faces Gambos.
Good run for Gambos.
And Fritz took out Albert and will face Sonego. So Bublik did not have that much passion or heart to win again.
He just felt like it was a job that day.
That day, he felt like it was a
It
job.
was just a job that day.
Yeah, so we have Sonego Fritz. Fritz has a great chance. Sonego had this. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here. I mean, Wawrinka, could we see Wawrinka maybe getting in there?
All right, I'm going to run down this list, and I want you to tell me the 4 semifinalists. Sonego, Fritz, Gambo, Schwartzman, Wawrinka, Gaston, Ruud, Thiem, Zverev, Cecchinato, Coria, Sinner, Martinez, Korda, Travaglia, or Nadal. We're definitely going to go Nadal in there. I think I'm going to throw Cecchinato in there. I'm going to throw Thiem in there, and let's go Wawrinka up top.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Boom!
Yeah. All right, women's. Let's go. Halep beats Bagu. We expected that. It was a good first set. Second set, not so much. Anisimova runs right through Pera.
Good match here.
I think Halep will beat her, though.
Good match
Halep
here.
Will be too much for Anisimova.
Yeah, I think Anisimova will have
Hello, Flora Moore.
Hey, she's in the Philippines.
Now she is. I thought it was a he.
Flora Moore is in the Philippines.
It's a he.
She's
Oh no, it's a she. You're right. She's in the judicial whatever.
My lovely lady over there.
Okay, Bouchard has another win and will face a tough competitor, in my opinion, Swiatek.
Another good match here.
I think Swiatek is going to beat her though.
The first third round matchups we've gotten to. Halep, Anisimova. I'm watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Bouchard, Swiatek. I'm watching it. I'm excited in a way that Bouchard is here. I do think Swiatek is going to just absolutely blow her off the court because Swiatek is really good. And she's what, 19? Isn't Swiatek like 19?
I'm sure with these guys, I love finding stats for us. Can tell us.
So Anisimova is going to have to grow some more to handle Halep, unless Halep has a really bad day. Bouchard, we can't forget, that made a Wimbledon final in 2014, disappeared into the life of swim, shoots, thongs, and showing her butt. And we all know that doesn't make for good tennis practice, but it seems like she may be coming out of it. Yeah. So good for her to be here, but I do think this dynamite player, Swiatek, I really think she's going to take Bouchard to school, and hopefully Bouchard continues to work, but I think that's an easy win for Swiatek.
Trevisan takes out Coco Gauff. They go to 3 sets. I've read a lot of your comments where you guys said that Coco Gauff's serve is an issue. They'll falter a lot.
There's a lot of women first serve issues. Look at Vondrousova out there. That could be so much better if she just lowered her ball toss. Zverev on the men's side is one of these. Look at Arani yesterday with the ball toss if it wasn't fictitiously done. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that could really change. We have one of our students, Carla, that's
16 double faults. That's a lot.
Yeah, we have one of our best junior students. Won't mention names. I think she is the best. But if she could get her serve to not double fault so much, then it wouldn't even be close.
Yeah, Coco imploded at the end. Sad to watch. Well, she is very young. Yeah. We've talked about this before, that we can't jump on that bandwagon yet because she's just
how much older is Anisimova than Coco Gauff? By about 2 years? 3 years?
3 years.
Is that 3 years?
Yeah.
So, I think Coco Gauff in 3 years.
She needs a few more years under her belt, and she'll do fine.
Yeah, a couple more years. She just needs to stay healthy and not get burnt out. Coco Gauff's key issues here: healthy, no burnout. Healthy,
yes.
No burnout.
Lars, that is the problem. Coco Gauff tries to make 2 first serves. Yes, she's not Osaka. Osaka's been playing on the tour for a long time. Yeah. She's got to learn that. She definitely has time. Amanda's 18, so they're 2 years apart. You can grow a lot from that. She's got time, so no worries. Hey, she's doing fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're both doing fine.
Yeah.
Again, when you're Goff's young age, I mean, I have 5 kids, and one's older than her. And the thing is you don't want to burn them out.
You don't want to burn them out.
You don't want to burn them out so young, because when they, at that age, there's a lot of things in life that you haven't seen, you don't even know exist, and all you know is traveling your team and moving around in a tennis court. At some point, she's going to see something that she wants to entertain, whether it's a relationship, whether it's college, whether, it's something different in life, maybe a different type of career path. And then she, being a young girl, is going to want to follow that, and then maybe even rebel against parents or whoever in order to do so. So I think the moral of the story here with Coco Gauff is she has all the brightest gifts in the world. We need to, number one, if I'm on her team, limit burnout. Let's be selective with tournaments. That's why the rules are there, for selective tournaments in the first place, so the little kids don't get burnout. What's the maximum amount of tournaments that a person can play prior to their 16th birthday? I think it's like 6 WTA or 8 WTA.
It should be 17 soon, so it should be fine.
And then it jumps from there. But still, at 17 years old, back when I was a child, I was born in 77, and child of the 80s and early 90s, and college after that. But the world was a much different place then. When I was 16, we would be out with girlfriends, driving around, seeing the world, didn't have to tell our parents where we were going. We were good to go. The world was much safer. Our oldest daughter, Liliana, who is 11, I would know more, put her out there to go walk the streets at night. Carla, you grew up in Brooklyn. Didn't you used to jump the train fence and go hop on the subway at all hours of the night?
Yep.
Would you let your daughter do that today?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
It's different.
That's just a different world.
What
out
I
there.
did, a team couldn't do now.
Exactly.
No way.
So I mean, she was jumping the Brooklyn.
I mean,
subway.
I went to Coney Island when I was like, I think I was in 4th grade. I didn't tell my mom. I grabbed my little brother, and we went. I watched how she took the train stuff, and I had to walk quite a few miles to get to the train station. Put the token in, went to the beach, put the token back, came back, and she never knew till I got older.
Yeah, it's just much different these days. There's so much garbage.
A rebel. I was a bad teenager.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was a bad teenager, not with boys. I never did that stuff. I was a bad teenager as far as I was adventurous and did whatever,
Because her dad would have absolutely whipped their ass.
I was good when it comes to boys. I had no boyfriends.
Yeah, only because dad made sure.
I didn't have a boyfriend in high school. I graduated with no boyfriends as a senior.
When I met Carla, I met her dad, and he was playing a tennis tournament, and Carla was playing the tournament as well. And I had a whole bunch of Wilson K-Factor 90 rackets. I had like 10 of them. And I knew that Carla's dad played with the Wilson K-Factor 90. So I said, you know what, Carla, I've got like a new one. It's almost new anyway. I'm going to bring it to Carla's dad as, a welcome, nice to meet you gift. So I go meet Carla's dad, and he's cool at first. And he was fixing to go on the match, or fixing to go on the court to play his doubles match. And I said, here, I bought this racket for you. It's mine. I'm giving it to you. So he goes on to the match, and he's playing doubles with his son, Jonathan, her brother, who's a really good tennis player as well, exceptional to say the least. And he gets pissed off on the court and gets my racket. Smash, smash, smash. Just blast my racket into a million pieces, right? So he comes off the court, and he's like, man, I broke the racket. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm thinking, like, geez, I got to go actually sit down and eat dinner with this guy now? Oh, shit. So then we leave, and we're driving to this pizza place, right? Because it was closed.
Yeah, I think you've told the story before.
So anyway, he drags me outside before I even come in. He's like, what do you want with my daughter? What you want with my daughter? Are you crazy? She's a lot to handle. What, you going to be able to deal with my daughter? Smashed my rack and got the 3rd degree, all within about an hour. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why dudes didn't have a problem with her younger, because of the dad. But I still love you, bro. Still love you. Still love you. Let's go.
Oh, man.
All right.
Back to tennis. So Trevisan will face Sakari. Think Sakari has a good chance to go through there?
I think it'll be a lot closer than you might think.
Trevisan is a 26-year-old player.
So she's been around.
She's been around.
She's been around. She just came off of a 3-set. Believe it or not, she was the underdog against a very young girl. But I think experience and a little bit of age and wisdom helped here. Sakari, though, has gotten better this time last year.
She is a lot better. I give her that. She's not hitting off her back foot, which is awesome.
We were destroying Sakari last year. We were making fun of her bun only because her forehand was so robotic, and she would hit it off the back foot. She would never find a way to step into the ball and swing freely. She was always hitting in robotic, like with this Nadal falling away forehand that just didn't suit her game, and she's cleaned that up. She's hitting through the ball, and I think that's going to make her a real strong competitor moving forward.
For those 50 guys, the 50 people that are out there, hit the likes, please. I mean, I see like 15, 16. You guys can hit the like button. I'm trying to do an experiment. Just hit it. Well, why is it so hard?
What's the experiment?
I want to see what everybody talks about on YouTube is true.
Does that help?
It's supposed to help.
How does hitting a button help you?
Because it helps your video, pushes it up. Even someone told you that too. Whatever.
Anyway.
Sakari looks much better without the bun. Agree.
Yeah, she looks like a beautiful girl with the bun. With the bun.
Free the bun. Exactly.
Free the bun.
Usually, if I do a bun,
who said free the bun?
Oh, Team Grows. If I do the bun,
that's
it's
because
I'm having a bad hair day, or I just don't feel like fixing my hair.
That should be a T-shirt, bro. Free the bun and have like a Sakari picture on the back. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's pretty funny, actually.
Definitely. Sienakova beats Pavlyuchenkova. And Bertens, we already talked about. So Bertens, Sienakova. Sienakova's pretty good on clay, by the way.
Yeah, Siennakova's a good player, period. Yeah. Bertens just came off a really, really long, really mental match and a lot more with Arani. Man, Bertens, I think, is the better player, at least
but maybe
on paper.
She won't recover.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Another good match there.
Slovenia, someone said that the Mexican girl, that's what they said, the Mexican girl, I think it was Carteri, the girl from Mexico, bageled her, and then Slovenia came back and won.
Good for her.
It happens a lot of women's tennis.
Yeah, it happens. Definitely. You get a bagel one way and come back and lose the other way.
She'll have a tough match. Alexandrova beat Sharma.
I think Alexandrova wins this match. I think Alexandrova upsets on paper Svitolina, but I think that the more battle-tested warrior in if I had to go into a battle, like a real battle with like fire and stuff, I think if I had to pick between who was going to go in there with me and be my soldier and my partner through thick and thin, no matter what, I'm going with Alexandrova. And on clay, I think you want the better soldier and not necessarily the better on paper tennis player. I want the soldier.
I didn't get to see Renata Sarasua play. I didn't get to see her play, so I wish I would have seen her play because this guy said she can play.
Where do you have that?
She lost to Svitlana.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Garcia will face Mertens. Garcia's doing well. Didn't I pick her?
Oh, look, I don't think so. Did you pick Garcia? You used to laugh at me when I picked her. No, you didn't pick her. You picked Cornet.
I picked her in my draw, though.
You picked Cornet.
Okay, because Garcia's like 17. I could have picked. Oh, no, she's on seed. I should have picked her. Damn.
Well, and Garcia's got home field.
Sloan won yesterday, Matt.
Garcia has home field advantage here.
Schmidlova beats Azarenka 2-2. I was a little shocked by this. And will face Podoroska, an Argentinian player.
I get the feeling. Wait a minute.
Podoroska took up Parimel Putintseva, and they said she smashed the racket today.
Well, you said Oska, O-S-K-A, and then you told me Argentinian. So she must live there, but not from there.
Podoroska, well, the way the name starts, let's see how she looks.
She can't be native Argentinian with that last name. I mean, you don't even have to look for it.
You do know that Argentinians have a lot of European background in them, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, anyone born in South America, they have a lot of European in them.
Podoroska, she's got to be Russian somewhere. She's got to be.
That's her. She looks Argentinian to me.
But where I'm curious. That last name is not a generational Argentinian. It's not Martinez.
Well, it's like Schwartzman.
Well, Schwartzman, yes. Schwartzman is he's from a Jewish background, right?
She has Ukrainian ancestry.
There you go.
There you go.
Remember, if your last...
Remember also that there's a lot of European influence in South America.
Well, I get that.
A lot.
If your last name ends in OVA, OVA, Oska, like this, we mentioned this before, you have a significant advantage from birth from being a great tennis player. So all I'm saying is you mentioned Oska, and I knew it wasn't Argentinian. She's a transplant. She's an Argentinian transplant from Ukraine.
And Pironkova, as we know, the other mom, who should retire from tennis because she's a mom, got a walkover because Serena withdrew, and she'll face Krejcikova. Strykova.
All right, I'm going to read this list. Tell me who the four are in the semifinals. Halep, Anisimova, Bouchard, Swiatek, Trevisan, Sakari, Siniakova, Bertens, Svitolina, Alexandrova, Garcia, Mertens, Schmidlova, Podoroska, Krejcikova, Pironkova. Who's in there? That's a tough one.
Halep has a much tougher side, in my opinion.
But watch out for Swiatek.
No, I'm saying Halep's top is tough.
So who goes to the semi there? You just going to throw in the seeds, Sakari and Halep, and call it a day? I don't think so.
No, that's a tough side. That's what I'm saying. The bottom side opened up a lot more.
Even down there, you're like, huh?
Yeah, down there could be anybody.
It's difficult. All of them are good players. I guess I'm gonna throw Halep in the semi just because.
I'll throw Mertens in there.
So you're dropping her on the bottom.
I don't know.
Jeez, man.
That's a tough one.
Look, I would like to throw Garcia in there just because of it be a Cinderella story, but I don't think so. Look, it's just it's a tough draw. It's a tough draw here, and there's not much you can do. If someone can guess.
What's up, Yinghao?
If someone
came in late.
Yeah, if someone can guess those semifinalists and they happen, I'd be impressed.
Hello, Jackie McKinley. There will be, tomorrow we have some interesting matches for sure.
Yeah, so that's a wrap. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow the schedule is...
Yeah, we gotta go teach.
Oh, yeah, we have a lesson at 4. So tomorrow the schedule is, I'm just thinking...
We gotta teach.
All right, we'll figure it out. It'll be sometime tomorrow afternoon. Today it was a little bit on the spot because we didn't quite know. So we will be here tomorrow, probably sometime between, say, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time and say now. But we'll be here. So just look out for it. We try to put it out there so you know at least a few minutes before it starts. So we'll definitely see you tomorrow.
Hey, even the thumbs down help out.
Yeah, give it a thumbs down.
You can give it 20 thumbs out. It still helps.
Give it thumbs down.
I appreciate it.
Oh, thumbs down. See ya.
I'm bad today.